This is Inside Indiana Business Radio for Monday, July 28th, 2025. I'm Gary Dick. Developers behind a proposed data center project at a former windshield wiper factory in Michigan City held a public meeting for the first time last week, saying they intend to move forward without tax incentives from the city. The project, first reported by Inside Indiana Business, could total around $830 million in private investment and 30 jobs by 2034. But Michigan City Mayor Andy Dalton has publicly said the city isn't planning to give the developers, Phoenix investors, local tax abatement. At the public meeting, Dalton clarified she's not opposed to the overall project, just the tax breaks.
I don't have a problem with data centers. I had a problem with the incentive. So I think data centers are a way of the world. I did encourage them to reach out to the unions and to make sure that there's conversations that are being had to make sure that we have union people on the job and that we have local residents on the job.
With construction well underway on a $250 million expansion in Bloomington, New Jersey-based Biopharma is furthering its growth efforts with plans for another facility nearby. The pharmaceutical contract development and manufacturing company said Friday it has acquired a 65-acre property near its existing manufacturing facility from Bloomington-based Cook Group. In an effort to address a growing need for early childhood education in Dubois County, Ivy Tech Community College Evansville is launching a new program in Jasper. The Early Childhood Educator Apprenticeship Program is designed to provide individuals with an accelerated pathway to a career in education through a series of credentials and certifications. From the state's #1 source for Indiana business news, you're listening to Inside Indiana Business Radio. Indiana's economy is on the move, and every region has a role to play. Join IBJ Media and Inside Indiana Business for the Innovate Indiana series, presented by Indiana University and Old National Bank. We're traveling to 10 regions across the state to spotlight business growth, workforce development, innovation, and Indiana's tech hubs. Don't miss this front row look at Indiana's future and the growth opportunities in your region. Find out when we'll be in your area at ibj.com/innovate. Less than a month after Indiana's public colleges and universities voluntarily agreed to cut or restructure hundreds of academic degree programs, state higher education officials have provided new details on how the effort is unfolding.
At last week's Indiana Commission for Higher Education meeting, agency staff shared updated data on the hundreds of programs that have been impacted through voluntary actions by state colleges and universities. The affected degree programs made up about 20% of Indiana's academic offerings, but accounted for just 4% of all graduates, according to Commission data. 404 degree programs across 6 institutions have so far been affected. Of those, 74 were eliminated, 101 were suspended, and 229 were merged or consolidated. Board leadership repeatedly emphasized that the overall degree changes are expected to have little to no impact on students, however. CHE's Chief Academic Officer Matt Butler specifically pointed out that most changes were consolidations and suspensions, not outright eliminations. He said programs on the chopping block all had 0 enrollment or were already on track to be phased out. Alex Brown, Inside Indiana Business Radio.
Fishers-based Ultimate Technologies Group has announced Andy Dalton as its new CEO. The commercial audio-visual services provider says the appointment comes as it looks to expand its geographic footprint. Dalton most recently served as Chief Information Officer for both CREA LLC and IVM Inc., both based in Indianapolis. This is Gary Dick for Inside Indiana Business Radio on Demand.